I've heard from a bunch of friends lately, one of whom was Mr. Atheist, that they've been visited by Jehovah's Witnesses. They were pushing these tracts on people, trying to get them to come to the Kingdom Hall for the memorial. I did a video on the memorial last year, but I figured since the time is coming around again, we'd give the subject a little more attention. What is the memorial? Why are Jehovah's Witnesses knocking on your door, inviting you to it? As an ex-Jehovah's Witness, should I go to it? Let's get into it. Okay, let's talk about this. First of all, what is it? If you look in the Bible at Luke 22:19, it talks about the Lord's evening meal. He broke bread and passed it around, then passed the wine around. He said, "Keep doing this in remembrance of me." Lots of modern Christian denominations do it once a month, like Methodists. Some do it every week, like Catholics. And some serious Catholics do it every day. Well, Jehovah's Witnesses do it once a year, and they call it the memorial. They claim that it's the only holiday they celebrate. Kind of dark, honestly, celebrating somebody's death. But really, it isn't a celebration at all. They don't buy each other presents. They don't get hats and those things you blow into when you want to be obnoxious, whatever the hell they're called. What are those things called? Oh, they're called party blowy things. Right. How could I forget that? Anyways, they don't do any of that. They just show up at the Kingdom Hall once a year after sundown, so like 8 p.m. or so, and then they pass wine and unleavened bread around. Unleavened? What's that mean, I hear you asking? Unleavened means they don't use yeast to make it, so it doesn't rise and get fluffy. It kind of resembles a cracker a little bit. There's no biblical basis for using unleavened bread, it's just kind of tradition. They say the yeast represents sin. It's traditional within Catholicism too. That's why you hear people referring to it as a cracker. Anyways, everybody has to touch the bread and the wine. But here's where it gets interesting. Nobody eats it. They just touch the plate and the cup and pass it to the next person. Why don't they eat or drink it? Because only the 144,000 anointed Jehovah's Witnesses eat and drink it. Jehovah's Witnesses believe that only 144,000 people are going to heaven. When you look at the hierarchy, the way it's set up, they kind of view the anointed as the only true Christians, and they view every other baptized Jehovah's Witness as part of a great crowd who rides the anointed people's coattails to safety. It's kind of a strange dynamic. So when Armageddon starts, all the 144,000 anointed people are going to be raptured to heaven instantly, and they're going to kill people for Jesus. It's going to be God's war on mankind. The only people who make it through to the other side are loyal Jehovah's Witnesses. And in their brand new book, Pure Worship of Jehovah, they actually said that knocking on doors is the new animal sacrifice. If you don't knock on doors and try to convert people, then you have blood on your hands. Might as well have killed the people yourself. So they're pretty serious about who makes it through Armageddon. Anyways, once the loyal Jehovah's Witnesses make it through, they go on to live on a paradise earth, basically like Garden of Eden 2.0. And the anointed people who are raptured to heaven get to stay there, serving as kings and priests in heaven with Jesus for all time. Anyways, there really aren't that many anointed people around. They count lots of Bible characters in that number, like the disciples. They consider them anointed. Also, I think they count the guy who was on the cross next to Jesus as anointed because he said, "You'll be with me in heaven," or something like that. Interestingly though, as I was typing that part of the script out, I started to write stake instead of cross, a Jehovah's Witness thing. I've been out since I was 18 years old, almost 12 years now. I'm telling you, it gets in deep. And it's there for life. As a side note, I was present once when an anointed person ate the bread and drank the wine. The plate passed by him and he grabbed a piece and crammed it in his mouth. Everybody gasped, kind of like when this apostate took a sip of the wine when he wasn't supposed to.
To the friends I haven't spoke to in years, to the parents that shun me because I'm no longer one of you, to the governing body that's covering up child sex abuse, this goes out to you. Thank you, brother.
But of course, if you consider yourself anointed, then you are supposed to sip and numb, respectively. Anyways, as I was saying, everybody shows up at around 8 p.m. and they give a little talk about why they're doing it and what it means to them and all that other junk. And then about an hour in, after they're sure it's dark outside, because it has to be after sundown, they pass it all around. Everybody in the Kingdom Hall has to be given a chance to touch the plate and hold the cup. Baptized Jehovah's Witness or not, child or adult, everybody. Sometimes people even touch the plates and the cups to infants' hands, just so they can say they observed the memorial. They call the plate of bread and the glass of wine emblems. This is a massive religious event for them every year. It's their opportunity to draw people back in who left, or get newcomers interested. So they're supposed to give an invitation to everybody. It's a big push, even disfellowshipped people like me. Interestingly enough, my mom gives invitation tracts to my siblings every year, but she never gives them to me. Whatever, doesn't really matter that much to me. But it does bring up an interesting question. Do we go? As ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, or even atheists, do we go to the event? Do we add to their numbers? I talked about something similar in a video recently, but think about this. As atheists, should we celebrate Christmas? It's kind of supporting a big Christian industry by celebrating it. Should we boycott Christmas and any other Christian holidays? I say no, we shouldn't. We should do whatever the hell we want. Jehovah's Witnesses find every reason in the world to avoid celebrating Christmas. It has pagan roots. Santa is an anagram of Satan. Seriously, they list that as a reason. The story is similar to that of Odin. At what point do you draw the line and say this is ridiculous and it's splitting hairs? At what point do you say it's extremist to modify your life that much to account for a holiday? Jehovah's Witnesses pushed me to not celebrate Christmas my entire life. I'm not going to be pressured into avoiding it for the remainder of it. Now, as far as attending the memorial goes, I don't see anything wrong with attending the memorial, with adding to their numbers for a single day per year. It isn't a reflection of anything but how many people showed up. It doesn't show how many new people joined, and it isn't like we're donating. They don't earn money off of my attendance at the memorial. It's like saying you don't want to follow Donald Trump on Twitter because you don't want to add to his numbers. Who really cares? I went to his Twitter recently and I saw like 50 of my friends follow him, just to see what the guy says. Nobody honestly cares who you follow. Nobody cares if you celebrate Christmas. Nobody cares if you go to the memorial. Do what you want. That being said, I won't be attending the memorial this year. While I do see the value of showing up and giving their talk a listen, kind of seems like a waste of time for me personally. I don't think I have anything to gain by showing up. Some people do, some people don't. Now, as I was saying, lots of people have been hearing about Jehovah's Witnesses and their memorial lately. They've been handing out invitation tracts and showing videos to people at the door, strangely. So let's take a quick look at the video they've been showing people. Two quick things before we get into their video though. I'm going to be at the American Atheist Convention on April 20th in Cincinnati, Ohio. So come up and see me there. I'll have a table where I'll be meeting fans all day. Also, check out my Teespring store. Link is in the description, but you can get there by going to shop.telltaleatheist.com. I just added a bunch of cool stuff on there. Okay, let's continue.
Imagine a world filled with peace, free of suffering, an abundance of food for all, and life in perfect health. But how can this beautiful future be possible? Because of what Jesus did for us. He came to earth for a purpose. He gave his life for those he loved.
Okay, couple things I wanted to point out. First, notice the angle they're taking here. They're trying to draw people in with promises of seeing dead loved ones and living on a paradise earth. No suffering, abundance of food for all, life in perfect health, peace on earth. They're appealing to people's deepest desires. They're telling them that they'll get it all if they just listen to what these Jehovah's Witnesses showing them this video are saying. Another thing I noticed about this video is this shot right here. Jesus nailed to the stake. I've never seen them depict the stake with a piece of wood across the top like that. At first I thought they were depicting a cross, but they couldn't possibly. It must be a nameplate or something. But seriously, I've never seen them do this. I have to imagine that they did it on purpose because they wanted to make it more palatable to outsiders, but they didn't want to break their moral values and put a cross in the video. An easy compromise. Okay, let's continue.
The night before he died, Jesus asked that we commemorate his sacrifice. He said, "Keep doing this in remembrance of me." On the anniversary of his death, people around the world will gather to remember him. Jehovah's Witnesses invite you and your family to attend the memorial of Jesus' death. At that meeting, you will find out why his sacrifice was so important and how his promises affect you. To find a location near you, please accept an invitation from one of Jehovah's Witnesses, or fill in the congregation meeting search form on jw.org.
Okay, here you can kind of see what they're doing, passing it from person to person. That's basically what it looks like. Something else I wanted to mention about this video. I've been cutting out every mention of jw.org in my videos up to now because I didn't want to advertise for them. But honestly, people have been pointing out how much they use it. It's entirely too much. They plaster it on everything. It's on Kingdom Halls, it's in videos, it's in their Bibles. They even make jw.org tie clips. They draw it on whiteboards and tote bags, and they put it on bow ties and pop sockets and everything. All the while, they're talking about how bad the cross is. It's idolized. People wear cross necklaces and earrings. How sick is that? It's outrageous. If people could only see that they're idolizing the cross, then maybe they'd make it through Armageddon, but unfortunately they probably won't. My mom was a total hippie back in the 60s. She calls herself a flower girl. She had some peace sign earrings when I was a kid. She got her ass ripped for wearing them. Her best friend told her she wouldn't be able to hang out with her anymore if she didn't get rid of them. Didn't want them in her house. She said they'd bring demons in. And here they are today, wearing jw.org earrings. The level of cognitive dissonance they have is disturbing. Anyways, I have a few announcements I want to make, so please don't click away yet. Just give me a second to get them out, and then you can click away. First, I'm going to be at American Atheist Convention on April 20th in Cincinnati, Ohio. In fact, I'm going to have a table there where I'll be meeting fans and selling merchandise and stuff. So come on up if you guys want to meet me. I love meeting fans. It's like one of my favorite things of all time. Also, I actually have merchandise now, so if you guys want to check out my store, it's on Teespring. But it can be reached by going to shop.telltaleatheist.com. I'm adding new stuff every day. If you guys have any suggestions for cool shirts or bumper stickers or anything else, just let me know in the comments. Also, check out my Patreon if you guys like the work I do and you want to see me continue to do it. I've seen some atheist YouTubers get demonetized recently, namely Godless Cranium, and it's a little concerning. Patreon gives me the stability I need to keep doing what I do and pay rent every month. Okay, that's all I've got for you. You can click away now. Thanks for watching, guys.